right. We are live, my friend. Welcome. Surprise. This is another episode of Old Ways of Spero. And you're wondering, where is the rest of the cast? Well, this is a side quest because one of our heroes took a shortcut, or he so believes. If you remember correctly, Thulsa had found, it was persuaded by Bugs, one of the Summer Court, Harrington, to take the way into the Fae and maybe shave time or even get back earlier if they take this shortcut into the Fae and come back. Not sure if it was going to work, but the message was desperate because they had found out that their Greyheim contingent under Sir Loras had been massacred by Breckenvale forces. So, I'm joined by Matt. Matt, say hello.
Hi, this is Matthew. I play Thulsa Doom, the town's captain of the guard, previously the town constable as well. And what really happened was Thulsa, who is not versed in magic, asked the Fae if he had a way to deliver the message quickly. It may not have been as safe as we hoped, but we thought it would be quickly. He did not know he was going to be stepping through a Fae gate.
Ignorance is amazing. Alright, so, Amber, is one of the Hornets. She is also with you, as well as, we said, is Bugs. And you are stepping through the gate. As you pass through the gate, you are filled with a very tingling, odd sensation as you definitely feel like you've left yourself for a moment before you kind of like feel it all kind of come back together. As you step through, the freshness of the air, the vibrancy of colors, it definitely has a magical sense to your to all your senses as you step into what appears to be the Feywilde. You don't see it as a lot of greenery. The area that you're in is a lot of like an autumn setting. Colored leaves, reds, oranges, yellows. It's cool though. You know, in the 60s, it doesn't feel too hot, too cold. And the air is fresh and crisp. Everything seems to be lively and vibrant.
I'm not quite sure that that's really exact. Where are we? The same.
Bugs goes, I told you about your breakfast, but yeah, we made our path into the wild now, so we just got to get to the lady, and I think we can get that message back quick.
Oh, you know someone else who can use the magic quickly. Okay, I understand that. Okay. Where's this lady and how do we get to?
All right. What was I think I'm having you break up a little bit. Are you good on your connection side? Every time you talked, you were a little scattered.
Mine says I'm good. No errors here.
All right. Mine's saying your connection's a little wonky.
I'm seeing a delay in your connection.
Now you sound good right now, but all right. Bug goes, well, I just want to make sure our time is made correctly, because if I jump right back, I think it'll just be about the same, and we wouldn't get too far what we wanted. So I think it's just down this trail right over here, and he starts to lead you along.
All right, I'm gonna check on Ember, see how she's doing.
She's a little bewildered as well. Like, oh my God, now we definitely literally went to a different place, and that's mind blowing for her.
All right, Miss Amber, you need to just stick close. Let us follow Bugs along here. I'm not exactly sure. I don't get the feeling we're anywhere near the village, so don't wander off because I don't know if I can find you.
She goes, yeah, sure. As you turn to follow Bugs, a huge hand grabs Bugs, like his entire body. And then another hand comes in and just hits him on the top of his head, crushing his skull. Blood shoots all over you. As you're stunned, you hear a gurgle. As you kind of quick back, now that you know you're in danger, that a blade has penetrated through the chest, the back and through the chest of Amber. And 3 ferocious orcs seem to be coming from the trail from there.
Okay, well that's sudden.
Mm-hmm.
I expect I would go into attack mode here, or at least self-defense mode.
As you prepare your weapon defense, the lead orc, who has apparently skewered your friend Amber, goes, I wouldn't advise trying to play with your weapon there. I was told to bring you in alive, but I can bring you in pretty fucked up, that's for sure.
I'm gonna have to mess with my weapon because very hostile, very, just those 2 of my, well, at least one of my friends and one of my compatriots. I don't know if I can call Bugs a friend yet.
The thing that basically plastered Bugs looks to be a giant with one big bulging eye and very gangly like limbs. But he's standing like 10 feet tall, very big, very strong. And you get a sense there's some eerily magic behind this huge beast. And he goes, I wouldn't advise trying to fight us. We serve the Knight Loras, and he told us to get you.
Well, you just killed 2 right in front of me, and I consider at least one of them a friend and one of them, kind of a co-worker.
There's a female orc behind this lead orc that has been talking, and she goes, I told you, if you killed him, he would get very defensive about this. The lead orc who had skewered Amber goes, but the details had nothing to do with other people. It was just him. I just think that's, extra work if I kept them around. Well, now you're going to have to try to convince him to go, unless you really plan on, taking off a couple limbs. Well, if I gotta do so, I gotta do so. They can put it back together, right? I don't think Lady Gistia likes doing it that way, but hey, you're the one put in charge, Rexar. You do it.
Well, I'm not going to give him too much chance to really have a conversation, so in this, I'm definitely moving to strike.
Okay, who are you attacking?
I've got 3 orcs and like a cyclopean giant.
Yes.
Okay. The giant one. So I'm kind of surrounded then. If I've got Amber behind me who is just skewered.
Yes.
I guess closest target. I mean, we gotta create some openings here, and
Depends if you want to go forward or you want to towards where the direction Bugs thought he was taking you, or you're just doing an absolute retreat, which would basically be where Amber was.
Right. Well, I think the closest target. I've got to make an opening here, so I'm not in the middle of getting jacked.
Yeah, like I said, both are close. Either one can be your target. So if you want to do orc, you can do the orc. If you want to do If you want to do the Fomarian, either one could be
Well,
close enough to open.
Where are the other combatants? Like, which direction would I have to go to have as few people between me and open terrain?
Well, the Fomarian is one being. The other way through Amber is 3. So if you're talking about the sense of that, then the big beast would be the first thing to go through.
Yeah, he's in front, so I guess I'll try to get past him to, so that I'm not surrounded.
Okay.
All right, so I was on the battlefield. I figure I would have had my weapons out at that point when we were leaving, which I would have had my range stuff since we didn't know where people were. So I guess we'll start with initiative, or are you going to give me a surprise round?
I'll give you attack. They're not. They'll let you attack if because they didn't really want to take you out. So if you come peacefully, they won't attack you. But if you're going to attack them, then we'll get into combat. So you'll have the first round.
Okay, so I'm rushing the Fomorian.
Okay.
2-hand crossbows.
All right.
So. Let's see here. It's been a while since, I haven't done any combat with the new system here, so bear with me just a second.
No worries.
Okay. So. First roll is an 18. Well, I have a damage. So 18 is the best there to hit.
Yep.
For 10 plus 2d6. So 16, and because of my assassinate trait, adding 3, so 19 damage on that one.
Nice.
And then second shot as my bonus action. Hits with or the hit is a 22.
Hit, yeah.
For 7 points of damage.
Okay. You nail him. He roars back, but he looks like he's pretty stocky.
Let's see here. I think I will action surge first thing.
Okay.
And bonus action, we will disengage.
Okay.
So moving past him, and then double move to continue on past him. So 30 feet to 30 feet.
All right. Yeah, you get by. They will, they will make chase. You're just going to keep on running.
Well, it's going to be a hit and run. I will, at this point, I will attack at range, then use my bonus to dash so that I can keep outpacing them so they can't catch me. But I have no idea where I'm going, so, and I don't know that I really want to leave the area where Amber is in. But I don't have any way to heal her or anything, so it's kind of, I can't really save her if she's still alive without some kind of intervention of some kind. So that's my plan. Depending upon initiative, I will attack and then dash away.
Okay. They let you pretty much shoot a couple times. You definitely will hit the big guy a few more times, and then they quit.
So they seem to give up tracking me.
Yeah.
Or they just kind of stay out of range.
They look like they headed back to where the attack happened.
Now, talk about being way out of your element. Well, if they're not going to give chase, we've got to be somewhere close to some kind of town, because Bugs thought we could go see somebody. I guess we move into survival mode. I'd like to use my survival skill to look for investigation, to look for signs of civilization, or like if I can find a stream, I would follow the stream, knowing that towns, usually are at some kind of the side of some kind of waterway. I'm looking for clues to lead me towards civilization, so to speak.
Roll survival.
Oh, so close to a natural 20. 8. So I think I am going to use my tactical mind ability, give up a second wind, and roll an additional d10 to add to that check.
Okay.
Six brings it up to a 14.
Okay. You for about, you'll say it feels like an hour. You're not sure. You do end up finding a stream. And you follow it, pretty much going downstream. Then you think it's another hour or two as you're kind of following through that you realize that there's a confusion. Like, you think the water is actually going reverse.
Like I'm on a hill going down, but the water's going up the hill?
Yeah, it's not... You kind of notice, like, in a certain area, it should have, like, broken off and flowed in a different direction, but it just seems like it wants to be a stream, and it's going to flow at a direction, regardless.
Okay, that definitely adds a whole other level of concern. But I think the thought of towns still being along waterways is valid. But do I go upstream or downstream?
If you go downstream, you're going to have to go back 2 or 3 hours. Just to let you know.
I'll continue following the water, I guess, against the current, because that's going to lead me away from where I was before, correct?
Yeah, if you follow it up as it continues to go upstream, that means you're still going with the progression you went. If you follow it where it would go downstream, you would have to backtrack about 3 hours.
And Bugs didn't really get a chance to walk anywhere, right? He didn't start really leading us in a direction.
Yeah, he took like 4 steps and then he was hitting it and he was grabbed.
Yeah. And is that in the direction I'm going, roughly, or have I...
No. You think you went off maybe like 45 degrees somewhere.
That my line would still be away from where we were. Okay, so I will continue following the water as I was downstream, not backtracking back to the other direction.
So as you're gonna follow it as you were following it, you noticing it's going upstream. I mean, going backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep moving away from the area that I was at.
Okay. You go for, you think, again, another couple hours, and there is indeed a town. It looks like a few houses. I should say not like a town. A small hovel like a farmstead.
I know nothing about anything. When you say farmstead, am I in like farmland?
Gee, that's a weird thing about it. As you look, like everything seems lush. Like everything's. It feels like autumn because you can feel like the vibrance of the trees and stuff you're going in. But the ground is like not hard. It's like you would be able to farm here. But it's not like certain spots. You know, there's not a whole lot of roots in one area that you'd say, or rocky. It's just like at any point you look down and you can say like, oh, I could farm there. I could farm in that clove of trees. It's definitely very unnatural.
But is the hovel surrounded by like fields, or am I deep in the woods?
Yeah, it looks like to the sides is mostly cornfields. The other one looks like wheat. And that's the best you can see, but it's like 5 houses.
Yeah, it does look like actual farmland. So.
Yes.
Farmers are usually at least moderately friendly. So I will stow my weapons. I'll go in empty-handed.
You're going to hide your weapons out here?
Like, not...
Hide weapons on your person or out in the field?
No, I'm going to have my weapons. I'm
Okay.
just going to put them away so that I'm not holding anything.
Okay.
So I don't appear like I'm attacking or whatever the village. I'm just going to walk in openly, open area, no obfuscation, and just kind of be a traveler.
Okay. As you walk closer to the houses, it's quiet. You don't hear anything, and you don't see anybody.
Smoke from the chimneys.
Nope. But it's not necessarily cold either. Like you said, it's about 60s.
Yeah, but you usually use at least fire to cook on. Nobody's cooking anything. Nobody's heating their house. Does any building look better or more important than the others? The church or...
Give me a survival check.
$23.
Yeah, there's the 2 houses, like one left, right. There's 2 more there. They seem to be about all the same. The one that's kind of like definitely across from there has a little bit more of a pond. Looks like it has definitely bigger. It's larger and well constructed.
Okay, we'll head there and see if we can knock on the door or if there's a clacker or a bell or anything we can ring.
Yeah, you hit the door and you hear, "Oh, come in, come in."
Okay, if I was invited in, I guess I'll go in.
As you come in, there is a very old-looking, grizzled Eladrian elf. Stark white hair. He looks very frail. He's in bluish, haggard clothing, like a robe.
Afternoon and good day to you, sir. I apologize for interrupting your day, but I'm a kind of a bit of a lost traveler, and I'm hoping I can get some assistance figuring out where I am and how I get back to my town.
Oh, sure. Well, it happens in the Fae quite often. We get random folk that appear every once in a while. Here, sit down. You look a little haggard.
Well, yeah, I was beset upon on the trail, me and my companions, and I fear both my companions are dead.
Oh, vicious world out here in the Fae. If you're not, alert. Creatures of all sorts, and politics of all. Gotta be careful of all the courts.
Well, yeah. It seems there was an ambush waiting for us, and I'm not sure how that could be. But I'm in a kind of hurry. My town is at war, and all our folks were killed on the battlefield, and I'm trying to get a message back to the town, but I don't know where it is. It's not here in this forest, and I'm not sure how I got here beyond. I was brought here by someone else. I guess you'd call him a rabbit man.
Oh, the Harrington folk. Yeah, yeah. I don't know of your town. We don't get news of the real world, so to speak, in this place. He puts a bowl of stew in front of you and some bread. I don't. You don't have any allies. I mean, I guess you knew one of the Harrington. Do you know who's associated with? Maybe I can help you with that part, but I can't do much on my own.
Well, his name was Bugs, and he was talking about a lady that he knew that could help us deliver the message. I a wiggly finger type few magic ones that allowed him to send a message from himself to another person, get some kind of answer back. And I think he was thinking she could do that.
Well, there are 4 ladies here in the Fae. He puts a bowl of food down as well, and he eats across you.
Well, I don't know. Does the name Greystoke mean anything to you?
Nope.
Because Bugs was in my town because a young Greystoke woman asked for some, I guess you call them soldiers. I don't know if he was really a soldier, but he was some kind of guard sent on her behalf to help my town.
Well, I kind of help the Autumn Court, so Lady O'Hara is who I help bring food to the peoples of that court. But if you're looking for like real war information, I do know a rumor amongst the Eladrin around here that the Winter Court lady might know quite a bit about things that are happening in your world.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I'm very confused and I'm really out of my element here.
No worries. You're okay in this home here.
Right. Well, I got no time to get this message back to my people because all our soldiers all were massacred. I'm afraid they're going to come through the town next and kill all the regular folk.
Well, a lady has the power to work the portals of the Fae. That is what is told by us, Eladrin. And that can come in any times. They can go in the past and the future. So they say amongst of us old Eladrin folk. But you've got to get to their charms. They're not quite easy to just do the biddings of mortals that just wander through their Fae gates.
Yeah, Bugs, he said he wasn't sure if he should do it or not, but it was important enough we needed to try. But still, once we arrived, it seemed like there was an ambush there waiting for us.
Wow. Dire times to you, friend.
Do orcs or giants work for the lady, or
Oh, we all have to serve the court here. Oh, we all serve the court here. in one fashion or another. There are many different species that do so. There are many different of us Eladrin, each of the summer and winter and autumn, spring. You can't exist in the Fae without owing some type of semblance to one of the queens.
Right. Well, I'm going to use this phrase, and it just sends a shield down my spine. But back in my world, I thought I'd really say that. Back in my world, generally orcs and giants don't really work for nice folk. So is that similar here?
No, we all just, I mean, giants mostly work for winter, I think. But there have been others. I don't see often, but I think there's some other type of giants that work for, like, spring. But there have been orcs that have been in each of the courts.
I really ain't got no clue just to tell me who they were working for and why they were trying to ambush us and how they knew we were coming.
Well, maybe you should have talked to them.
They started by, with a giant, just took the bug's head clean right off.
Oh?
And then one of the orcs put a blade right through her.
Oh, that's crazy. Most knights of those kind, they like to talk. They must have had a very serious mission.
Kind of trying to talk, but one of them was kind of trying to talk, but she was just warning the other two that if they killed us, that we'd probably fight back. I think that's a fair estimation of what we would do in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
They told me that they were supposed to take me in alive, but they didn't have to take me in one piece. So I ran. I didn't think I could help them. I mean, Bugs, I knew I couldn't help. And Ember, I think she was beyond my help. Even if she wasn't quite totally gone yet. But I don't know how to do first aid or anything beyond wrapping a bandage around it.
Well, son, I don't know where I can really help you much more than, I know some things, but I'm just a simple farmer unless you have yourself a plan that you want to try to exploit. I guess this quest is yours. I'm a simple farmer.
I ain't got no real plan. I guess the only thought of the plan is I got to get to somebody who can get me back to my real world town so I can deliver the message. So that may be asking you to point me in the direction of the lady that can open and close these portals that you mentioned.
Well,
you can give me directions, or
I can make my travel down with my wagon and get you out to tell the area. That's what you want, or you definitely want to go on your own.
Well, would the road be dangerous?
Oh, it's always dangerous. I mean, you don't seem to know the Fae very well, so that makes it pretty, complicated for you.
Well, I don't want to put you in danger. If you could just tell me the road to take.
Oh, I don't mind. I'll just get you a little bit out of the way. I don't want to go to the end.
As I say, I'm a fish out of the water here. I would certainly appreciate.
You sit down and eat.
Assistance.
Let me go get the horse, and I'll tie it up to the wagon. And he gets up, cleans his plate, his bowl, and he goes in the backside room.
Well, he take a bit of nourishment. I'm sure he's been on the road for a few days. He's just had rations and stuff. They haven't really been
it's
at the dinner table, so
super delicious. You're really surprised at how nourishing it is, and a lot of flavor.
Going from the pockets, I don't really have much to offer in the way of compensation. Basically nothing. Because I'm a civil servant. He's not done any adventuring. Oh, no, that's not true. This might get me out of the mind. All right.
Good.
All right, so I'll eat the bowl and fish a set of shoes out of my backpack.
Okay. He comes back about 30 minutes later. We're all ready to travel.
Well, I thank you very much for that food that you offered. It was mighty delicious.
Oh,
I dare say best I've ever had on the road outside of the city. And I certainly appreciate all the effort you're going through here. I could offer you these. It's not something I've ever really trusted because I was told there's magic. But I have these horseshoes here that I'm told make your horse go faster, be able to run and move faster, and maybe that'll get you back and forth with your wagon a little bit more efficiently.
You would give me these.
So,
all right.
Seems only fair that I'll give you something because you're putting yourself in danger, as you said, on this road for me.
Well, thank you. With that, he takes them.
Yeah, you'll have to have your horse shoe those some other time. But they're yours for everything you've done helping me here so far.
Well, thank you. Well, let's make our time now. You basically see a white mare attached to kind of a very bulky, rickety wagon. It looks sturdy. It looks old for sure. The mare it's large, but you're not all sure how healthy it's been. But it looks like it might be able to do the job, but you don't know how long it'll last, type of thing. He climbs up.
As a horse rancher, you're saying this mare is
yes,
on her way to the glue factory.
Why don't you give me an either investigation or survival at advantage, your choice.
investigation's better. So. So 20 should come up on with the advantage.
You can't really tell the breed of the horse. It's kind of like, you know, it looks like it's something like a Clydesdale, but maybe then a stallion kind of sort of combined, but that's kind of its like crossbreeding something aspect, but it's a very strange looking horse. And it just, again, doesn't look as all that healthy, but it seems like he can do the job for a little bit. So he climbs on board, tells you to get up.
Yeah, I'll get up on the wagon with him and make sure I have a crossbow out, riding shotgun style.
Okay. You start taking off the road. It's a slow process, but it is comfortable enough, and it is going forward. About 40 minutes in, he goes, "So you got a family back at this home that you're trying to get to?"
Well, my mother and my uncle are still alive. They run the ranch. But no wife or children of my own. Got a couple of best friends.
Yeah, that makes it very important to get back to family. No loved one.
No. Although there was a girl.
Oh.
When I was much younger, but I don't think she's ever seen me as more than a friend.
Them friend zones, awfully tough. So what's this town like that you're getting back to?
It's a town. Fairly big. We got a couple of generations of folk in it now. So a few hundred people. We got different businesses and get all the basics, blacksmith, that kind of thing. Bit of a trade town. We're on a route from the major city, Greyhound. On the way out to Breckenridge, but that's a big problem because Breckenridge seems to have decided to go to war with us at least. I don't know if they're making a play on Greyhound or whatnot. That'd be foolish, but who knows what's going on. But they're certainly trying to undermine my town.
So you're in a war.
It does seem that way. They attacked one of our groups on the road. The knight took his soldiers out. They was kind of at the town, took his soldiers out, and a lot of the town folk militia too. And when they didn't come back for a couple of weeks, we went looking for them, and that's what happened. I found them on the road, on the side of a big battle, me and Bugs and Ember, and we're trying to get that info back to the town to let them know that all our protectors that had gone out had been killed. So I asked Bugs if he could help me get this message back real quick, because I know, being a Fey, he has some kind of magic. I don't know a lot about magic. I don't really trust magic from folks, but saw how handy that message spell was, if you call it that. And he said he had a different way that he might be able to get it faster, but I guess what he meant was if he came into this woods, he could go to his lady and she might be able to use that spell to get the message out.
Yeah, that's how most of them try to work it. Why don't you like magic much?
Well, because dangerous, and the folks that use it aren't, they're not well regulated. There are some groups that keep an eye on their members, and that's kind of acceptable. Still a little, that's who polices the police kind of thing. Then you got folks that just go off and use it without any kind of responsibility. I'm dealing with one right now. He claims to be a bard, and they say bards use magic, and there's never really been a problem with them. But this one, I saw him kill a person right in front of me, and I tried to investigate what I considered likely a murder. And I was told to leave it alone and not investigate it. And that just doesn't sit well with me. That's why I stopped being a constable, because I was constantly being told, like, not to do my job and to ignore it. So I didn't feel like I could continue working for that person in that capacity. The lady of the town was working for her father, but her father is well, he's caught up in another magic thing. The circle is causing some kind of cloud around him that he can't enter, and it's got him trapped. He and his wife, the woman's Lady Kerowyn's mom and dad. I was working for him, and now I'm working for her because she's kind of taken over, but she's just too naive. She's too inexperienced, and she won't let folks do their jobs. She's trying to do their jobs for them.
She used magic herself?
No, I don't think so.
So the two of you know magic, being played by all the magic people. Magic's power, boy. In the Fae, we all magic here. Gotta have it. Otherwise, she go crazy.
Yeah, and as I understand it, the magic is kind of part of you.
Sure is.
It's not something you go out and get. It's something that's inside you all the time. So
you can get Fae magic. Being around here so long, you either adapt to it or it adapts you. Or you die. What else happens?
I wasn't comfortable asking bugs to use magic, but it was important.
Magic can be important.
Get this information back to the town.
Well, magic gets important. Can do a lot of things, a lot of powerful things, change things. Depends on how you're using it, like you said. In the Fae, that's why there's 4 courts. Unseelie and Seelie. They bring things to life, and one side destroys it. As is the seasons. That's where the magic comes from.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I like the godly magic is kind of okay, because there's not really rules, but there's at least understanding of what the the intentions of the god are. Because the gods have kind of things they do and things they don't do. So if you're talking about the god of protection, his folks are going to try to protect folks.
Yeah. Actually, if you get the right ones and you get the right blessings, gotta be careful of the bad gods too.
Right, but again, you kind of know what they're going to do. If the guy says, I'm a follower of the god of assassins, then you kind of know he's going to try to assassinate someone.
I see what you're talking about now.
There's a framework that they work in. It's kind of understandable. But when you just get a kind of person who says, well, I just went to the library and I sat down and I read books for 5 years and now I can change the world, you have no no real expectation of how they're going to use that power. That gets dangerous.
I'll see. Well, we need to roll up here and make camp. As you can see, it's starting to get dark. We'll set off again first at light in the morning. So he stops the cart. He goes and starts kind of putting some logs on the side of the road. You can sleep in the wagon, a little bit more comfortable. We don't need to pitch a tent or anything like that.
Well, what kind of dangers are we guarding against? Because you said this trip was not really safe, or could not be really safe.
Yeah.
Do my part. How can I help?
We get a fire going. Should be pretty good. Most creatures don't like my fire. It's purified.
All right, I can certainly help with that.
All right, you get a fire going. You sit next to the fire, eating simple rations. About an hour as you're sitting, 3 shadows start coming out of the side of the road. You immediately recognize them as the 3 orcs that jumped you.
Yeah.
The old guy goes, I was wondering how long it'd take you boys to get over here. I think he's peaceful enough now. And the orcs go, you better hope so. He runs like a rabbit. Well, he can't go far now. Come sit. And the two of the male orcs sit down at the fire. The woman one kind of stays back, leans back against a tree.
So, is everyone in this forest working together?
All of a sudden, the old man is gone. Instead, there is a very light blue tiefling with horns, gorgeous, shimmering silk robes. He goes, nah, well, we're working here because you're the prey. So it was very important that we get the prize that we needed. It's not often that I have to hunt someone for so long, but indeed you have the interest of the ladies, so I've got to do what I'm commanded to do.
Well, that's a statement that kind of makes me immediately run.
I know, but if you really take off, it's going to be way more painful with me pursuing you compared to these 3 fellows. I am Sir Loras, the Winter Knight.
Does a knight mean the same thing here that it means back in my world?
Not necessarily. There are only 4 queens, 4 ladies, and 4 knights. We 12 make some of the most powerful beings of the Fey courts. So, there are knights in your realm, but a knight of my stature means I've killed hundreds and hundreds of individuals to do what the Winter Court needs. But for your sake, Thulsa, Lady Justia wants to have a discussion with you. You have garnered her importance because of the events in Welshire. So sorry for the ruse, but it was the most easiest way to get you in the right direction.
Well, I have a real difficulty with accepting any type of statements you're making, because your first action was in my friends.
Well, my friend, winter is death, and we didn't really expect or need the others. Your Harrington friend being of the Summer Court was a bit of an issue as well. So, that's the way it is, but again, I'm not the diplomatic type, I'm just the knight. So, that's kind of how I proceed with things. You might like the Summer Knight, she's been in your mix for some time, but that's not how I play. And you don't want to take off because you've had a meal in one of my houses. I can track you anywhere you go. It's sort of Fey etiquette. Gives me a little power over you. Meals are very important in the Feywilde.
So you're just going to keep coming till I can't go no more, is that right? Is that what I'm understanding?
That's right, but you don't really like wiggly fingers, and I'm one of the baddest ass wiggly fingers you're going to find. So like I said, you want to make this as easy as you can on yourself. Lady Justia wants to talk to you, because if she didn't want to talk to you, Thulsa, you would have been following your friends. You would have been dead. Let's, we can break camp now. There's no need to play rest. Let's just get on going to Lady Justia. Alright, boys. Let's get them going. Rexar gets up. The orc. This way. Climb on board.
I tell you what, he may be the best. Any of you raise a hand on me, we'll pull back a nub.
I like him. He thinks he's tough. Well, he better be tough because of what Lady Justia needs of him. He's got to do the job. Otherwise, she would have got some other schmo. Just let him entertain himself. As you wish, sir. Sir Knight. And the other guys kind of climb in the back, allowing you to jump in the side of the carriage with Sir Loris.
I think at this point I'll walk alongside.
Oh no, you're gonna get on board now. You don't have that much authority here.
I'll climb up. How are they armed?
The lead orc that he seems to be Rexart is in full plate mail. You just basically see his face because he's had the visor up. He looks, and they look exquisitely creative. Like, you would not think he was an orc from York Place. But the three of them look like they're knights of Khazgoroth. Like they're equipped and they look very proficient. The two men are long swords. The woman is a spear. And Soloris doesn't look like he's really carrying any weapons. Besides magical rings.
Yeah, it didn't look like Soloris a few minutes ago either. So.
Nope.
My compatriot's going to be buried properly. No, excuse me. Are my compatriots going to be burned properly?
You can take it up with the lady. I don't do corpse detail.
I'd like to go with an insight check to see if they're bluffing or if they're like, is he all talk or does he actually come across as
Okay, roll.
all that in a bag of chips?
Sure, roll.
Total of 20.
20. He's a pretty impressive physical specimen. Tiefling, like I said, blue skin, purple hair, green eyes. He is well dressed. The robes look like material you've never seen. The rings look magical. They look like they have runes and enchantments on them. He's as cocky as they've come. You've run into some people. This guy looks like he doesn't want to do the job that he's come to fetch you, along with the boys, the three orcs he's got with him. And they look like they've hurt people a lot and often. Like you remember bullies, especially in the military groups. Sometimes you've had to put a lot of those guys in line in your detail. These guys are 20 times that.
So I don't get the feeling that he's bluffing or dissembling. That what he's saying is what he believes.
Yes.
All right, we will ride along.
Okay.
I'm going to believe that he can track me with his little stew in my belly. As we're going along, I'm looking for any signs of patrols or other civilization, other towns. I'm getting the feeling that he's not supposed to be in this area necessarily.
As you're looking around, as you're traveling, there seems to be a fade from autumn to winter very quickly.
Okay, and while we were is there any other indication that we've changed territories?
Besides the weather elements, now the trees are getting bare, there's snow on the ground, and small clumps. You're starting to see it fade. Give me a survival check at advantage. You're a very astute.
So no border crossings or 15.
Well, 15 is good enough. I mean, what you're realizing is basically there seems to be some sort of time distortion that must be happening, because the topography that you remember, like seeing some hills or thicker woods and stuff, like now all of a sudden you're like near more barren woods, wide open fields, mountain tops now, like in the distance. Like it was slowly started fading into things like that can't possibly happen. Like your mode of travel doesn't seem like it's going vast at all, but yet you're changing landscapes way too quickly for the effects that you would think would be rationally realistic.
This has all just got me spinning.
Welcome to the Fae.
So, how did you know I was coming, or we were coming? It was kind of a spur of the moment decision.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the Feywilde, Thulsa. It's part-time. So, events happen in the future, and we can see events in the past. We can see both. It just depends on when the queens wish to interfere. That's the wonderful thing about the Fae.
I'm really not getting a wonderful feel, I have to say. Your hospitality is a little weak.
Not the best in hospitality. I'm a knight. I seek things. Most times I destroy things. I don't capture. So, in a way, you should feel a little privileged. You're one of few I've ever had to capture, alive and willing. Gotta think about that, Thulsa. That's a positive, right?
Not when the first action was to kill everyone around me.
Well, unfortunately, she sent the best because she knew how dangerous you were, Thulsa. You don't want to mess with those three. They've come from a world where they've been with Titans, so they're pretty skilled. You just end up getting hurt. And you don't take on knights because we're the knights of the courts. We're very powerful. But again,
No, I understand.
She cares about
believe
you.
what you're saying.
well, we have reputations. If you ever get out of this mess, you can do some lore hunting on us. You'll find out. It'll add to your, humbleness that you were asked to be taken alive.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you start seeing an ice castle
I'm not like that.
in the distance. Home sweet
Yeah, at this
home.
point, we're really not given a whole lot of.
What was that?
I said at this point, we're not really giving a whole lot of conversation or a whole lot of muss or fuss.
Sure.
I don't see any real openings to make here, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of.
As you nearby, you will start to see thousands and thousands of orcs in the field. Frost giants, those big-eyed, a few big-eyed giants in the area. There are trolls, white-looking trolls. And they all have this light bluish banner and a white crown on the field.
I see you keep quite a bit of reputable company here.
When a court likes to go to war, we're sort of the unseelie of the court, so unpopular sometimes. If it wasn't for the Shadow Queen, you know, we'd probably be the worst of the worst. But you'll probably get a little bit more of this learning.
You're really not selling it.
Well, the Fae haven't quite got a foothold in your world of Alanis, but it's coming. Thus this meeting.
And you say this is a meeting with the Queen?
No, you're just getting the lady. Very rarely do mortals such as yourself get to see the Queen. But don't worry, she is so powerful enough for you. Just don't fall in love or anything.
Somehow I don't feel there's a threat of that happening here, but so should be safe in that regard.
If you say so. You get through the gate. There is a moat around the castle. It looks like flowing ice water. It's cold as you can possibly imagine. It is very frigid here. Another tiefling will come up and offer you a large fur cloak.
Sounds like something we'll probably need. Yeah, I guess there's nothing really, I don't know, eating something made it bad. Putting on clothing, that would be bad too. I will inspect it before I put it on. With spikes on the inside or anything.
No, it definitely looks like fur hide that you've never seen as thick as this before. You've seen wolf pelt, like wolf fur. This is definitely thicker, like very hard, coarse, and looks like it will definitely keep you warm.
Okay. Don't see an escape here yet, so.
Okay.
Act polite.
Okay. Sir Loras leaves you. The three orcs that were in the wagon and you met originally, they begin to lead you. You're accompanied then by 12 more orcs. Again in this fantastic plate armor. And they lead you to pretty much a very large, strong-held castle with what definitely looks like an army inside. Within about an hour, you are brought into a large courtroom. There are some of these furs that are all over the place. Large pillars supporting a huge ceiling. Sitting on the throne is a very pale Eladrian woman with white hair and the bluest eyes you have ever seen. She is sleek, elegant, and very beautiful. The orc goes, "My lady Justia, we have brought forth Thulsa of Welshire." And she goes, "Excellent, Rexar. I appeared he gave you quite the chase." "Just a delay, my lady. Nothing we couldn't handle." "Of course. Very well. They all step aside. The 15 now on the sides of the pillar, leaving you in the middle. What do you do?
So she is sitting on a throne?
Yes. 2 frost giants also flank her.
In my experience, thrones are reserved for the queen, but I'm told she's not the queen.
Correct. But you were also told that there are only 12 powerful beings in the realm, making up Queen, Lady, and Knight of the 4 seasons. So she has some power in the Fae.
Right, but the fact that she's sitting on the throne is kind of throwing me off. But she's not the queen now. That's where we said, told I'm not being brought to the queen. So why is she sitting on the throne?
Well, I mean, that's no really different from like barons and dukes and stuff like that in other strongholds. It is not. There's nothing that would warrant to you that this is the capital throne of anything. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So her castle, not necessarily the capital castle.
Correct. Because then this looked like a fortified castle, not like a city. So, in your reasoning, that would justify her being able to be on a high command chair.
Well, I'm certainly not dressed in my finest, but I'll step forward and offer the appropriate, as if I was like going before a duke or a lord of Greyhide. I'll offer the appropriate bow or half bow, or
Okay.
That I would give somebody of rank. I don't know what that would be called in this. It's no longer etiquette.
You can use performance to
Just
an etiquette thing, yeah. I would do performance.
Wow. With my awesome +1, I got the 19.
Nice. Okay.
I'm still looking for escape routes, but of course we're farther and farther in, so I'm sure they're getting fewer and fewer, even apparent openings to get out of here.
She goes, "Welcome to my home, Thulsa. I must apologize for the way events have had to transfold to get you here, but there are ways things are that go about in the Winter Court that are different than others. Such is the seasons, and I must apologize. But I bring you here for due importance. Something I have scryed upon and seen in your character that you do not quite trust and have taken a liking to. I'm here to help you guide you through the ways of what has infested into your town, that of the goddess, the Raven Queen.
Well, it's true I don't trust her because I have no idea what she wants or what she represents.
She represents darkness, death, intrigue, and the desire for power.
Well, she certainly got the intrigue part down. So I think they do kind of supporting her.
Yes. Welshire has become an unexpected destination for the events that have pivoted the ways for where Alanis is heading. Your friends, your lady, and yourself are smack dab in the center of the events, unbeknownst to you, and as ill-prepared as you are. I have been asked to help you correct that, because the Court of Winter sees the Raven Queen for what she is, and we're willing to make progressive movements to stop her.
Well, I can't say that I don't want to stop her, because, I mean, I just don't know anything about her, and the ones that are pushing her agenda are falling under that intrigue you were speaking of, and we're successful at that for sure, because nobody knows what's really happening and what's going on.
I know. But also, you do not care for magic. You do not trust the magic wielders, the mages. Because they, as you have been taught and learned, could be influenced by the Dark Lady herself, Silk. Well, the Raven Queen is her friend, her confidant. She has been leading Silk to great aspects of power, and that power is becoming into fruition. But we need to set things into balance before things are forever lost.
Well, we live in the land of Silk, and it's true that those who study the ways of wizardry magic are, you know, rightfully not very well trusted. All magic I don't trust.
Yes.
As I said, to Sir Loris, who seemed to be an old man.
Well, also.
You know, I got no problem with goblin magic, and in fact, yeah.
Thulsa, the land is no longer Silk's. It is definitely Azarian's. But that, we'll see how events will unfold. Gods are coming, new gods. Some of the old gods may be around, but your Pantheon is in flux. It is in danger. It has been in war, unbeknownst to the people of Alanis. And this war has been perpetrated by the Raven Queen. I need you to help save Alanis. And there is only one species, one ancestry, that can help that. And that is the elves. I need you to take a contingent to Misa and put a very important message into the High Priestess of Danu. Will you do this for Alanis?
Can I have a history roll?
Sure.
To know about Lisa?
Yes.
No. Middle of the road, 13.
13. Well, you do know Misa is of the elves. You have not heard it ever associated with being populated, a kingdom, or it's helping any of the people of the regular mainland. It has always been mystical. It is told to be unapproachable. And besides Tyros, you have not really even seen any elves, full-blooded elves, for that matter, in some time.
Right, I would think at this point in history, Misa would be pretty much mythology.
Yes.
having disappeared into the mists now, what, 600, 700 years ago?
That's correct. But I will say, what you're looking at right now is an elf. Like Lady Justia, she's a Ladrian, which is Fey elf. So you're seeing an elf in front of you. Very elegant, very lean. The ears coming out. Beautiful. You know. Smooth skin, all that aspect there. So you are seeing an elf, for sure, in front of you. Unless you think she's disguising herself as Loristy.
Right now, anything's possible. I'm
Right.
not giving them any credit or discredit.
Yep.
I don't see how I can possibly do what you're asking me to do. I mean, I've done a little bit of book searching for Thoth, and I mean, I've read Misa disappeared hundreds and hundreds of years ago, if it even existed in the first place.
Oh, it
It's
existed.
not like there's any elves around really that talk about it.
It existed. And there's a path. I will give you that path and the way you must go. I will give you items to get there. But you must take some of your heroes of Welshire, the ones that you believe will follow into the quest, not those of the Raven Queen. Unless you feel those of the Raven Queen you can convert. Show them the truth.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jira's only been talking about the Raven Queen for a few months, and already has converted a number of folks. I
Yes.
don't think they just step right away again.
The Raven Queen's charm is very powerful. That is why we have been chosen by our new connection, our goddess, to lead you away, to help you. She knew the Winter Court would take the extremes necessary and not fall under peacekeeping and compromising idealisms, is what she told us. But you must do this. If you do not get contact in Alanis to the High Priestess, dark times will come to this continent.
Well, I apologize, my lady, for talking out of line, but you brought it up. If you don't mind me asking, who is this goddess that you're serving?
She is a new goddess. She's known as the Sapphire. It is who the High Priestess of Danu must connect with, but Alanis has magic, land magic, dread realm magic, that makes it difficult for those connections to be made at this moment. That is why we must send a champion. We must send you.
Again, I apologize, but now you want me to bring the word of some new god to a high priestess of the new, and ask that high priestess to turn away from her god?
No, I have an item. It will make contact for her. You will be given some items that you'll need in the journey. That gift, once given into her hands, will reveal Sapphire to the High Priestess of Danu. And it will not make her a non-priestess of Danu. What it will do is help establish the Elven pantheon amongst this world. Something that we'll need to counter the Raven Queen.
Well, when you say counter, earlier you used the word balance. Are you trying to drive the Raven Queen out, so to speak?
No, it's
Or
impossible
are you
now.
just trying to make sure that
We
'cause I
can't.
mean,
She's becoming very powerful,
I
Thulsa.
understand. Well, I understand faith, and I don't want to strip somebody's faith, even if I don't really agree with it. But I understand balance. Balance is something that I could work towards.
That's why you were chosen.
But how do you really expect me to work with you where the first thing you did was kill my friends?
I can have that restored to you. But I will only do so upon your success in your quest.
What do you mean restored?
I am the Lady of Winter, but I do know that the Lady of Spring can be made to bring back the dead in full life. That is why she is the Lady of Spring, where life comes back again. We are the seasons, Thulsa. The Fae are ready to help keep balance in the world of Alanis, which we have never really done before. We have done so in other worlds, but we have been brought here. We have been pushed here. And now that we are aware of what's going on here and the Raven Queen, we are trying to restore things that have been enlightened to us by the pantheons of the elves, especially by the Sapphire. You were seen being able to be resistant, observant, cautious, and intriguing enough to break down what is the events going around you with hesitation and caution. That's what we need. But we also need your discretion now to be able to get a heroic group across the plains of Oro, across the river, and into the seas of Misa. I will help you get to the steps to get to that island. That is my part. But it takes someone from Welshire to do this. Otherwise, the balance will not be set. Instead, darkness will reign. That is what the Raven Queen is setting. She is looking to grow powerful. To grow powerful, she needs a war. She needs adversaries. But if there's balance and peace, there is nothing she can exploit. That's what is at stake. That is what you're needed for. And I don't think, Thulsa, you can't turn down the realm, because the realm needs you.
Your words are very persuasive. And if the lives that we're taking can be restored, because they were taken in an unjust way. If they can be restored, I can consider doing this quest. It sure ain't gonna be easy. Belshire's, kind of landlocked. It's a little far inland for this kind of thing. couldn't find somebody a little closer to the coast?
I will get you across the river, and I will get you the vessel. But we need the heart of Welshire, a hero from it, to make this connection. Otherwise, like I said, Welshire being the center of all the events, we have a potential of losing this. That is what the Sapphire told me. There is no other city, no other hero that can see and understand what is coming like you do. It'll take too much explaining, too much trying to win trust. You've already seen events that are transpiring, things that make no sense, but they have been happening. That is why she chose you.
Do you know anything about this circle that was created
Yes.
in the manor house?
Yes.
Can it be broken? Can it be erased?
It can be stopped once the Black Zodiac creatures connected to it and its summoning have all been defeated. But anything that happens before that, as I said, the Raven Queen needed a war and adversaries. So it was created by Ashen City, by the drow, those loyal to Loth. Loth and the Spider Queen, Loth, the Spider Queen, as well as the Raven Queen, are trying to manipulate Silk. Alanis's power is derived through her. If the circle is compromised, the Spider Queen can be restored to her former power, and darkness will happen. That will give the Raven Queen the ability to continue the war, and she will probably get even more powerful. Thus, if we meet the Elven Pantheon and get that into Welshire, we can begin to change the narrative and give you the allies that you may need to stop the war with Loth and Ashen City.
And so Breckenridge is being influenced by Ashen City as well to
Oh yes,
foster war upon us.
yes. The organization known as the Dread Order. The Lord, Caspian Cain.
Yeah, I came across them.
He's Dreadlord. He's a Dreadlord. He is a Dread Order general. That is why he was put in place there.
But I can't really leave the town. I'm captain of the guard. I need this to be there to protect it.
This will protect your town, Thulsa. This is, as you travel, you will understand the legends of things that will be needed. They need to be resurfaced again. But you cannot fight this battle alone. As you have said, the ignorance of not knowing is what is Welshire's falling. I'm about to empower you with knowledge, as I've given you now, but you need to be able to turn that against your enemies. Right now, you do have almost no allies. The loss of the Greyheim forces make you expendable. But to reach Misa, it will open up allies to you and the fortification to Welshire and its growth. That's the biggest thing, Thulsa, is its growth. So if you are the captain of the guard, this is a mission you must do. It is not needed you required to be physically in the city, but if you do not go forward for it, you won't be a captain of anything. It'll be a ruin. It'll just be the hole that is waiting for the Black Zodiac to conquer.
But I can't just leave the city. I don't have permission. I'll need to convince Lady Kerowyn to let me go.
Yes. Tell him it isn't a seek to stop Breckenfell forces. You're going to need to lie anyways, because the Raven Queen gets wind of this. She'll make contact with others. You cannot let her champion know. But I think your foxes may be a little bit loyal to you. And if you can get enough of them, with a couple others, maybe even your priest, then you can make real, solid help and aid to your town. And it will grow. The sapphire has promised.
I hope this request and this endeavor is in earnest. I have no reason to doubt your word, but neither do I have any reason to trust it.
I'm going to put something in your mind
But
that I want you to understand is a rule in the Fae. Do you accept?
I'm sure the answer is magic, but what do you mean by you're going to put something in my mind?
I need to explain something that you will believe. I'm giving you a memory that is the rules of the Fae. But I am not going to put an enchantment on you and have you resist it, or you feel that I have manipulated you. But there's only another way to teach you this, besides having you stay here for many, many years to believe it. It is your choice. You can take the instant memory.
I can't stay here for years. I gotta get back to the town and warn them that all the knights and soldiers from Greyhound are dead.
Time is meaningless at this moment, Thulsa. I can get you back before then. You can spend 20 years here and believe me, or you can take this memory now. And then it will put into a contract, you understand?
To you, because that was lived so long, but I don't have that time. It's not meaningless to me.
Very well.
But I'm still not sure how I'm going to understand that what you're putting in my head isn't a fabrication.
I'll let you take it as you see it. She says something, and you feel stars kind of go out to your head. Do you resist the spell or no?
I wouldn't know how to resist the spell, so I don't think I resist
Okay.
it now.
More or less in your mind, you understand that in the Fae, favors are contract of power. So if you were to say, I will do a favor for you, that is a lock-bind contract that you can call upon at any point. And in as long as the favors of a certain element of tier, you can call upon that favor as a cachet, regardless of whatever it is. As you understand that, she goes, well, sorry, excuse me. She goes, the Winter Court, myself, Lady Justia, in the name of the Sapphire, ask you to deliver a message to the High Priestess of Danu in Misa to set the balance of the realm of Alanis. This is a grand favor. If you accept it and complete it, I will owe you such. So knowing that, if you deliver the thing, the advice that she says to Misa, you now have a bond, a thing that you can catch in any point. Which is what she just told you by the memory giving it to you is absolutely huge. Like, this is not a minor fae. She didn't use a minor fae to do it. She herself asked. So you have the second most powerful person of the Winter Court granting you a boon, a favor boon, if you accomplish this quest. So, in your heart, insight-wise, it is very believable.
That's a good sense of 19. Okay, we'll go with that. Well, Lady Justia, I see the need for some balance in Wellshire. Raven Queen's coming on strong and picking up a lot of followers right quick. I may have to deceive Lady Kerowyn, but her best interest.
She snaps her fingers. Another very attractive female, a lantern, walks through. She has blonde hair with frosty white tips. She is holding in two hands, probably a 5-inch cylinder. Looks like a little small scroll case. And she presents it to you. Lady Justia goes, that will be the message that you need to give to the High Priestess of Danu.
But I have your word this is not harmful to her if I pass it on.
Absolutely. You have my word. Although this is the Winter Court's actions are progressing here, this is from the pantheon of the elves through the Sapphire. You will know that. She snaps her finger again. That orc, Rexar guy again, comes up, and he basically hands you what looks like a cardboard sheet, kind of like this, kind of long, and do you read Elvish?
I do speak Sylvan.
Okay, it's Sylvan.
I assume in this rule set, if we speak it, we also read it?
Yes, so it is in Sylvan. It just says bridge. He says, say this in Sylvan while you hold it out, and it will make a bridge across the river for you.
Right, magic.
She again raises her fingers one more time. A little ice gremlin guy comes popping up to you, and he has in his hand a little a ring. It is icy blue, and the castle that you're in seems to be in the ring signet. Excuse me. Lady Justia goes, just in case you run into a danger that you cannot handle, twist the ring upside down and call my name, and you will return to this castle. Your life is very important at this moment now. I must keep you alive.
So, if I twist the ring, say your name, I'll be brought here.
Correct.
But no one else? Just because I'm wearing the ring?
Just you. And whoever you are touching, actually. Or touching you. but keep yourself alive. You're the most important one.
Well, I might disagree as far as my friends.
I will also give you, because we want to make sure you get through this, I will give you a friend, a companion of the courts. I understand how you feel about us and the way we've started things. So I will find an ally if you wish through the other three. But you must choose one of.
Excuse me?
I will give you one of the courts, an ally, to go back with you. Much like you have a summer court contingent in Welshire, I will work with an agent that will help you get to where your destination needs to be.
Well, I apologize, but I don't know anything about anything in that regard. I couldn't ask for something like that.
Well, I have more allies here in the winter, if you're comfortable with that. But we have strong friends in the Autumn Court.
Can I turn it down?
You wish?
With no with no negative consequences, or
Well, it'll be negative. You won't have help. That's the negative. You can call upon a court member and a certain service that you need.
but I'm just trying to figure out if you're trying to set someone on me to keep an eye on me, or actually sending help.
We want you to live. I've given you a ring to come back. We are worried that the Raven Queen will discover what you're up to. And your path, and anyone you have join you, will get dangerous. Someone we send from the Fae Court will be a little bit more able to defend your progress, and can sacrifice themselves as such, because they will be reborn here.
Well, that just doesn't sound friendly, but
It's not meant to be friendly, it's meant to be helpful.
driving back to the village, I don't think you understand what all that would look like. If I arrive back to the village saying that Bugs and Ember are dead, but I've got this new companion with me,
Well, we will put a disguise
it's going
on.
to raise a lot of questions.
We'll put a disguise on the person, and that will be Amber until you're out of town, and then the deceit will be removed.
No, I really couldn't accept that.
Whatever will help you get through. But your honesty and such could make it very difficult for you to pass this off.
I don't know. I couldn't accept that. I'm sorry, it's just someone wearing her face, and I don't really know her all that well, but someone wearing her face after you caused her death, that was just It's doesn't feel right. Even if she does come back.
This is about your town, Thulsa. You're needing to learn to need to make some sacrifices. Otherwise, you're gonna have a very... You're gonna help the Raven Queen accomplish what she needs to do. Heroes' journeys are not always easy. Choices are always difficult. And there are times sacrifices must be made. That is the way all epic stories are told. If you thought this was going to be a golden road all the way to Misa, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. It will take blood, sweat, and tears. And if you need to be deceitful, that is why the Winter Court was chosen to help you.
There's deceitful, and then there's distasteful.
The Raven Queen
Right.
doesn't care either or. As long as she knows, she knows.
Right. My concern, or my expectation is if I show up with someone from the Winter Court to go back to town, and then I try to leave, it's going to cause a lot more questions that are going to get back to those who follow the Raven Queen. I can explain away my needs to travel to Greyheim to look for help in the town because of all the soldiers that died. But saying I need to bring someone from the Winter Court along would be a little more difficult to keep the information from getting out.
I can give you a mage, an Eladrian mage. We can get you in and out of the town without being seen to the people you wish to make contact with. Thus, you would not have to worry about who you came back with or tell other lies to people you do not wish to lie to. And then you can be on the road. That's the last I can do for you.
Well, there's just a little bit more. I will accept the help from someone of your court, because that will lend a little bit more weight at the destination with the High Priestess is going in. But they won't come into town with me. They'll rejoin me on the road as I travel west out toward the river. How does that sound?
Let's wait on the road for you. Very well.
Right. That way I don't have to explain their presence.
Okay.
But then I don't have to have them wear Amber's face.
Very well. A very attractive Eladrian elf female comes in. She has light, like very pale skin, but light blue hair with the tips frosty white. And she goes, "This is Krista Blue. She will serve you." And she bows at you. Good luck, Thulsa. The world is relying on you.
Somehow, I don't think that makes things real likely to happen well. But I understand the need for balance, and I'll do what I can to secure that.
With that, she does this, and all of a sudden, the castle is gone. You are in the farm field in Alanis. Farm field in Alanis, in Welshire. You're in the Whispering Fields. Whisperwind Fields in Welshire. So Krista will hang back and leave you to it. So you will be there before the band returns back from the killing of the Cyclops. Alright. And we end our session tonight.
Okay.
See you in a couple weeks for more where this leads.